All we need to do is to get to the temple, and we have become legends. It was going to be a strong path ahead of us, though. Fights, monsters, volcanoes erupting, fires. The very gods were going to be trying to stop our continuation down to the path of success. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Falcon, Curious Expedition. You're in for a treat here today because we are on expedition number 6, meaning the very last one. We happen to be in first place, and we happen to have a lot of money going into the last expedition itself, which happens to be the Oompa Loompa Prehistoric Lands. Oompa Loompa da-bo-dee-doo, da-ba-da-da. Anyway, a remote area that is hidden inside a giant mountain crater. No one really knows what is waiting there. Rumors about a buried pyramid connected to the seals. Anyway, as you can imagine, we are doing this in post-commentary one more time. It's going to be the last episode we're doing in post-commentary because Falcon, as we've mentioned before, I recorded these episodes as regularly I usually do, and I found out my microphone's on mute, so, you know, we have to do post-commentary. Otherwise, you guys will never see these episodes, and it was a really good run that I would hate to keep away from you. And is it a run that you finally win, Falcon? Well, I don't know. I guess we'll find out this episode, though, right? Anyway, over here, we decided not to pick anybody up. I liked my party. I was considering getting rid of Mrs. Bell for another person to actually help us with fighting, especially because they actually have some shields, but Miss Bell helps us carry more items, so no. Let's waste some money. Now, it is important to know that we came into this black market with 387 funds. There's no reason not to spend all your money on the very last expedition because there's going to be no other expedition after this one. So as you can see, 5 dynamite, campsite, whiskey, chocolate, medkits, torches, and bullets. We were completely stocked and ready for whatever the game wanted to throw at us at the very last expedition itself. Let's go forward. So starting our map off here really quickly, we did run into a slave trade camp early on, but again, there's really no positives in going to the slave trade camp unless you're kind of either in need of people or you just don't have a really properly developed party. So progressing forward, we finally came face to face with that icon that I had never seen before. What could it honestly be? Let's get closer. Oh, it's a tomb. Let's find out. The tip of a pyramid just barely reached down to the dunes. It must have been some kind of grave built by a long-forgotten civilization. A small opening led into the darkness. Falcon, let's get in there. Falcon, let's get in there. There you go. We stumbled into the pyramid. It seemed to be a very old and had remained untouched for a long time. There was a stone sarcophagus in the center of the small chamber. What do you usually do with the sarcophagus? You gotta open it, right? Unless you're Kanye West and apparently you like to put the pussy in the sarcophagus. But that's kind of weird and that's Kanye West's thing. I can't really say if that's what you really should be doing. But anyway, we found ourselves a mummy and a moonstone. Now I'm thinking, I want to take the mummy for some fame if we could do it, right? Might as well. But I also want to take that moonstone just in case, considering this is the last expedition, the game decides to be like, hey, not only do you have to find the seals, but you also need a moonstone to get into the pyramid now. So I obviously needed that. We left the buck hatch net behind because at this point, we didn't really care about it anymore. Now here I'm thinking, I want to take the mummy. I'm thinking of probably dropping the chocolates, but what if we did this instead? What if we leave, use the chocolates because we only have 8 sanity points anyway, and then we come back and we grab the mummy, and we have the extra space for it, right? Oh, look at that. You can't go back inside the tomb. Well, at least I used my brain for once, but unfortunately the game was not going to have any of that. Let's continue going forward. Now, as we progress down into the perilous path ahead of us, we were down to 25 sanity points. I knew I had to fight this vulture. We're a good fighting party. The vulture is not really that difficult. I'm not sure why I had to decide to move towards it, but I did for some reason, even though I had the attack option beforehand. But here is the big surprise for us. Not just one vulture. I guess I'm calling it a vulture. It's not really a vulture. It's some sort of birdo enemy. But not just one of them, but 2 of them. They have a ton of health. So the further you get into the expeditions, the more enemies the game throws at you. And 2 of these guys is bad news. Do we either survive or do we die? Let's find out. So down to our very last round, we find that James Sterling and one of our other fighters have gone down. They've been knocked out from all these powerful creatures that we've been fighting. He's down to only 6 more health points though, which is, you know, possible. It means that we could definitely win this as long as we just get 1 more eye. There you go, that's our quick shot, and boom, he is down. Really tough fight, but we actually won. Now, I want to use those medkits, but I've never used a medkit before, so I found out soon enough that you actually use the medkits outside in the regular map itself. But over here, we got 4 more feathers for our trouble and our work, which is good because each one of those is 60 more fame. That just in case we get inked out towards the end of this race, we could use it to trade in for more fame and hopefully come out in very first place. Anyway, We're going to use the medkits over here on Harold Langdon and James Sterling, and we'll continue going forward. At this point, we were faced with a really awkward situation. Well, there's a lot of volcanoes here that are active. What happens if we just walk by is what we're asking ourselves, and oh, good God almighty! There is a bunch of fire. Here is where I'm just freaking out. I'm thinking, can I walk through this hex and not be burnt? I gotta do it because I can't stand here forever, and I decided to move forward, and we found ourselves, what is that supposed to be? Is it one of the inscriptions? Yeah, that's gonna be one of the stone circles that let you actually analyze a part of the map ahead of time. Now with this one, instead of analyzing too far ahead, I decided to be a little bit more smarter about this one this time. And yes, that right there is where I want to actually check, because my theory right now is, okay, we're looking for a stone circle that we know, or not a stone circle, but we're looking for the seal that we know for a fact based on our map that is in this region of the map itself. So I can continue going forward, but before we go forward, a good place that the game would like to hide this, just to be a dick, is down here through these volcanoes. So instead of going all the way forward and having to come back and reroute through these volcanoes, let's find out here and now. Here and now! Ah, look at that, no seal. Well, it was worth a try, right? However, that is not to say that I did not have the wrong idea. I imagined the game, as the final expedition, would put these seals in really awkward places, correct? So we decided to keep going forward, and lo and behold... Uh-oh. Why is there a question mark in the middle of some mountains and volcanoes? We can't even get there. Or, we could not have gotten there, assuming we didn't have dynamite. But we did buy dynamite at the black market before this final expedition. I was so glad that I did, because otherwise, how are you supposed to get into that seal? You tell me, because I have no other idea. So we blew up a mountain, and bloom, lo and behold, seal number 1. So with seal number 1 activated, I saw another icon for a village, and I said to myself, what kind of people could possibly live in this unknown part of the world? And we found some villagers, and oddly enough, by some stroke of good luck, or just RNG in general, apparently I was able to communicate with these tribal villagers, and we decided to have a little bit of a trade. They really carried nothing of value for us, so instead we decided to just rest here overnight because we were down to only 13 sanity points. However, the night was not as pleasant as you would imagine. We told the men to unpack and prepare our things for the night. The strange behavior of Captain Harold Langdon seemingly irritated the villagers. As we sat together, one of them approached me with an offer. Seemingly out of hospitality, he offered to assassinate Captain Harold Langdon and take care of his corpse. We were going to have to refuse. That is one of our most important party members in the party right now. He was a valuable and reliable part of our trek. We had to refuse. The native politely accepted my refusal and continued as if this conversation never had happened. And with that awkward situation at night, we were ready to just get the hell out of here as soon as possible, because who in the right mind, in the right world, would ask you if you would mind to just assassinate one of your friends and take care of the corpse? Good God, these people were savages. So quickly escaping the village of dead, as I've now come to know it, we decided to continue going forward. We knew in this region of the map we had another seal for us to find. If history was going to repeat itself, the game would probably want to put another seal in a really difficult situation, and right now I saw, ahead of me, volcanoes and mountains surrounding a hex that we have not yet explored. But before we ran into that, we noticed that there was another hex far above us that I've never seen before. Curiosity was getting the best of me, but oh! Of course, I was certain that there was something there, and there was. Now, here we had a situation where it's kind of like, well, I could go around. There is an opening there for once. But why even poke the bear? We have dynamite. We were going to blow up this inactive volcano and go into seal number 2. Now, with 2 seals under our grasp, we were surprised to find out that there was still no golden pyramid revealed to us. So that was really surprising, and we're thinking to ourselves then, we probably have to find a third one. But our rationing is becoming relatively low. Let's find out what's in this location first and foremost. Using handholds cut into the rock, we climbed down to a small patch of grass by the water. It was so deep that we could not see the bottom. We decided to look into the well at nighttime. We waited until the night was pitch black, then we stared deeply into the watery abyss. An image began to take shape, a golden temple enclosed within thick jungle. So is that telling us where the temple or the pyramid might be? It's a possibility, but still it wasn't showing up in our map whatsoever. All we knew is that we still needed to find, possibly, one more seal. Where was that seal going to be found? Well, that was up for us to find out. But north seemed like a really good place to keep going. And going north, we did find the third seal that we needed. At this point, we're completely filled with jubilation. We don't care about anything, we just want to get there as soon as possible. We could go around, or we could use climbing gear. I didn't really care. We were going to use climbing gear and finally get to the very third seal that we were looking for. We approached its seemingly ancient structure that we partially seem to be made out of pure gold. We don't even care to read. We just want to activate the seal. And wanted to continue forward, and lo and behold, the pyramid became available to us. At this moment in time, we realized we are done. There is nothing for us to continue searching or exploring. All we need to do is to get to the temple, and we have become legends. It was going to be a strong path ahead of us, though. Fights, monsters, volcanoes erupting, fires. The very gods were going to be trying to stop our continuation down to the path of success. With some valor in our stomach and the knowns of whiskey, we decided to continue going forward. Volcanoes are erupting, yes, but we need to keep pressing forward, because what are the odds that a volcano would erupt right now as we are passing into the mart of our gold? No! We had gotten completely surrounded by fire. Miss Bell was separated from the rest of us. Her terrible screams echoed through the hell we were in, but we were unable to reach her. May her soul rest in peace. Our burro, our donkey, from day one, had met her doom. But were we out of this hell that seemingly engulfed us completely? Let's find out. All we knew is that we had to keep pressing forward. Victory was just ahead of us, and we were still in the middle of this hellfire and brimstone. We had to continue on our way. We needed more valor, more whiskey, we said. We decided to keep going forward, and oh no! There was only fire and chaos. Somehow, Captain Harold Langdon had fallen. We were flying through the gates of hell. And we were flying and dropping one by one. Our hard work and determination has gotten us so far. But suddenly the gates of hell have opened back up and asked for their reward. Asked for what they wanted, and they felt it was theirs. It was our lives. Was it for us? Was that it? We are overburdened. We are 2 comrades behind. What do we get rid of? We need to continue going forward. We're not fighting anymore. We have to get rid of the medkit. We keep rolling forward. We keep going through the jungle, we keep cutting through. We need to win for our fallen brethren. The pyramid was right there. We had given up hope, but we were not going to play the game anymore. We were not going to go around and follow the rules. We were going to use dynamite to blow through the fucking mountains. Because the pyramid was right there. We had the sanity to do it. It's right there. We just gotta reach, explore. We have done it. There was a golden pyramid enthroned above the landscape. Congratulations, we have reached the final level. This is where the game in its current state ends. Thank you so much for playing this early version of the Curious Expedition. For all of our hard work and struggle and determination and sacrifice, we got the most rewarding default message of an incomplete game that we've ever seen. And I wasn't even salty about it. I was just filled with joy and jubilation. Fame is 1126. Did we have enough fame to not only win the race, but beat the game as well? Let's find out. We returned home in first place. And let me tell you, not just in first place, but in the continual state of first place, because I had all these extra items that I could have sold, and I decided to sell it and give it away for museums just because I wanted to rub it in that Falcon, congratulations, your final rank is first. And first by a landslide. Your name will be forever remembered because you, my friend, have finally beaten the Curious Expedition Alpha 12. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up, leave a like to support. It does mean a lot. If you guys want to see some more runs, let me know in the comments. But for now, we will be taking a break, and I'll let you guys decide whether the series continues or not. I will catch you next time.